Now, let's check in with Janelle Lippi this morning, learning more about stained glass at the Glassy Gardener. Janelle?
Hi, Jeremy. That's right. A lot of fun ahead of us here this morning. And I've got Kate with me. We're going to talk all about you, Kate, for this time around. We've got some beautiful art here that we will show you in just a minute. But before we get into that, let's talk about you, Kate. How did you get started?
Sorry, early morning. So I got started when I was 10 years old. My parents actually signed me up for a stained glass class at the Neil Balkwell. So I took it. I think I was the youngest in the room probably, and I just fell in love with it. And then I carried on working on stained glass at Friars Stained Glass. They're now closed, unfortunately, but I worked there for open studio time. That would be like my fun night during the week, during like high school and stuff. And I just kept going. And yeah, now I guess I just turned it into a job, which is pretty cool. So yeah.
That's amazing. And it's so beautiful. Your work is fantastic. Now, you also have classes. Tell me a little bit about those.
Yes, yeah. So I actually was teaching at the Neil Balkwell for quite a while, like well over a year. But I decided to start doing home-based studio classes. So I do teach beginner classes where you can learn the whole process from cutting to grinding, foiling, and then soldering your pieces together. But then I also do little project classes. So everything's pre-cut. You can just come for one night. You can foil, solder, and have a project ready to take home. So yeah, it's been really fun. It's been taking off. I started doing that last summer, and yeah, it's been going on every week since. So it's been a really good time. Yeah.
It sounds like it. So very beginner friendly. These classes are available to you. That link is up on your screen. You can click it, get into there for a little bit more information. And we have some demonstrations coming up as well. So stay tuned for that.
All right. Looking forward to that. Janelle, thank you very much. We'll see you in a little while. Let's head out now again and check in at the Glassy Gardener, where Janelle Lippi joins us from this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeremy. That's right. And we are continuing on our morning, having a lot of fun. As promised, here is a little bit of a demo. I believe we're going to look over some glass cutting right now. Is that right?
Yeah. So basically, to cut glass, you just need a couple simple tools. This is a scoring tool, which means you're just going to scratch the glass with it. And then these are some running pliers, so you clamp it to break it. So I'll just kind of quickly show that. So if this sounds pretty cool.
Very satisfying.
Yeah. And then you'll break it. And so basically, whenever you're doing glasswork, you're chipping away from the shape that you are wanting to make. So I traced these earlier. Awesome. Take your running pliers and then clamp it and it breaks. We'll do a couple more cuts.
You make it look so easy.
Been doing it for almost 20 years, which is so weird to say. But yeah, so then you're kind of left with like the shape that you want. And so there's this piece here that's like in progress. But basically, when you're doing stained glass, you're like making like a puzzle of some sort, so you want to make sure that everything fits nicely. So this is one of the patterns that I offer in my beginner classes that you can make. Yeah, so you cut it, and then you would take it to the grinder, and you would grind up all the edges so that they're nice and smooth, and then that way it's both safe to handle and then ready for the next step, which would be foiling. So
all right, Kate, well, this is beautifully done. We are going to be back very soon. We're going to rather show you what that next process looks like.
All right. We look forward to seeing the finished outcome. Janelle, see you in a bit. Time to head back to the Glassy Gardener one final time this morning and check in with Janelle Lippi.
Good morning. We are finishing up our demonstration here today. Kate is back with me now. Kate, you're showing us a little bit about grinding this time.
Yeah, so when you're working on a stained glass piece, I showed the cutting earlier, you are left with a lot of really sharp, kind of jagged edges when you're cutting a stained glass. So what we want to do to kind of finish it is use a glass grinder. So I can just show you how that
give
works
us a little demo.
Yeah, so it might be a little bit loud, but basically you're just going to pass back and forth over the edges of your piece that you're using. I tend to dry it in between, but then it leaves it nice and roughed up, so it's safe to touch. You're not going to cut yourself there,
yes,
at least.
yep.
But yeah, so once you have done that to an entire piece of glass, there's our movie magic. This one's already done. Then you have to do what is called like applying copper foil, or the copper foil method. So basically you take this sticky metal tape and you have to wrap your entire glass piece with this foil. So we'll just kind of quickly do that.
Yeah.
And then once you wrap each of your pieces with foil, you do what's called soldering. So it's basically like a pretty version of welding. There we go. That was pretty fast.
Yeah.
So you wrap it and then you fold it over and then you use what's called a burnisher to smooth it all out. And then once all of your pieces are covered in foil, you then solder them together. And so this piece is all soldered. So anywhere where you see the silvery metal lines, that is used, like that's solder on those spots. So basically the metal will stick to the metal, and then you've got your puzzle all put back together.
All right, well, once again, that does wrap up our morning here together. But if you are interested in classes or a little bit more information, you can click that link that's popping up on your screen.